What up, Chicken Nuggets? Tyler here with Tarver Cards, and this is Sports Cards Are Dope podcast. And I want to talk to you today about players I think you should look at if you're wanting their value to increase going into next season. Here we go. Okay, so don't use this as financial advice if you spend $2,000 on cards. What I'd like to remind you is you're an adult. Grow up. I'm just kidding. But seriously, don't blame other people for your purchases. Also, if you're not, you're like, well, I'm 12. You know what I would say then? Your parents should not give you access to that much money and run all your purchases through them. Let them help you make good decisions. So this is just what I have seen success in when it comes to increases in players' value. So right now, the hottest player to collect in basketball cards is Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg, if you look at the top 15 highest trending characters and players, 14 of the 15 are Pokemon. One at number 3 is Cooper Flagg. We talked about it on the last episode. And so he's coming to the league. What's he going to do to get more hype? That dude, for his stuff to go up in value, he's going to have to win multiple championships. Victor Wembanyama, we saw this 2 years ago with him. He came in at huge prices. And it's come down because there's a lot. And, he's young. And he's trying to win as an 18, 19, 20-year-old against these grown men. MJ couldn't do it. He had to wait till he was 27, 28, maybe almost 30 before he won his first championship. LeBron made it to the finals in 2007, and he was really good. He dragged them there, but then they got beat pretty good, pretty handedly. And then he didn't win again for another few years when he was around 27-ish, and he came into the league a lot younger than MJ. These players come in, and there's going to be a dip. Players with a lot of hype, when they come in, Victor, Cooper Flagg, Zion, Ja, all these guys that are legit hoopers, they're also very young. And they're about to play against some grown men who not only are athletic, can move, can shoot, but they've been playing the game long enough that they have the IQ to be able to figure it out. And a lot of these young guys do figure it out. A lot of them put in the work, put in the time, study sessions, talk to the coaches, and they figure it out. But it takes them a few years. Bill Simmons, he has a podcast, and he talks about it all the time. 27 years old is usually when they start winning. That's their prime. When they're the best player on a team that wins the championship, it's around 27. I say that, Shea is 26, 27, so he's right in there in that area. So what I'm saying is these young guys, when they come in, like Cooper Flagg, Victor, Zion, they come in and they're very young, especially now coming in 18, 19 years old. Their cards have a huge spike because we're they're incredible. They were this good at this level. They could do this, this, and this for a team. But that's the thing we forget. It is a team. And so it takes them a few years, and then it also takes the organizations a few years to build pieces around them. And then in that the prelude, if you will, to them winning, in the dip of their, I'm amazing coming in, there's a dip, and then they start winning again, start figuring out winning and get the right team. During that dip is whenever it's probably smarter to start getting their cards. So I don't recommend the players that everyone's talking about, but I was watching all these trades and all this stuff happening, and it reminded me of something I've seen across the league, and I bet if you think about it, you have too. You're not going to see the greatest increases on players that are already great. Steph, LeBron, Kevin Durant, all these players. KD had a spike a few years ago. That's when I bought heavy. Lost a lot of money on him, but it wasn't a big deal. I didn't go in crazy, but did buy a lot of his tops rookies, and a lot of them are worth Jack Diddle on a Skittle. I tell y'all this all the time. I was grinding, working in the eBay comments. Hey man, do you have any more? I can combine shipping. I was working as hard as I could to get his tops, Kevin Durant's tops 2007 rookie for $90 a piece. You can buy it raw, $10 all day now. And so let that be a warning to you about these players. So it's yes, they might see spikes, and we saw that boom with everybody's cards a few years ago. But I think with a lot of these young players coming in who have a lot of hype and a lot of the GOATs, they're going to be what they are, okay? What I recommend is look for players who are about to move to a new opportunity. Not Austin Reeves. Austin Rivers. He has a podcast on The Ringer. He's fantastic. He played for 11 seasons, I think, in the league. And he talks about it all the time. All these guys are great. Yeah, there's differences. There's some that are the Thompson twins are super athletic, or, somebody has an IQ here. But all these guys are good. And he talks about all the time, the most important thing is the situation they're in. And I was in a conversation with some friends, and we were talking about my favorite player, Jordan Poole. And one of my buddies made a comment and just said, well, I don't think he's a winning player. And I thought to myself, my rebuttal would be him holding the 2022 championship. Like, this dude is a winner. He won in college on Michigan. They got to the Final Four off of his game-winning shot and a lot of his play as a freshman. He came into the Warriors, and his rookie year they were tanking because Steph got hurt, Clay was still hurt. They had just lost KD. Like, they were tanking that year. And he got touches behind Eric Pascal. Rest in peace. He's not dead. I just don't know where he is. But then give him a couple years, and in his second year, they do pretty well. Miss the play into the Grizzlies, but they're building habits. And then in his third year in the league, what do? He is the second. Sometimes we attribute, like, Wiggins did good on defense against like Luka and some other players, but really, Jordan Poole was the second best scorer on that team. They were subbing Draymond out at the end of games to put JP in on offense. We forget JP was a problem for all those teams. That last game against the Celtics, I would argue, like, Steph had game 4 against Celtics, which kept him in. And I don't disagree that Steph was like number one. But I would put in an argument that if you actually rewatched those playoffs, and especially that Celtics series, Jordan Poole beat the Celtics. Like, Bill Simmons will say it all the time, and he loves the Celtics. JP beat the Celtics because he was that piece they needed. He was that scoring threat, and he was still working on consistency, but he does not shy away from big moments. But here's the thing. My buddy said that he's not a winning player, and I'm sitting here thinking, he's the ultimate winning player. Like, he won. That he helped a team. He was probably the second best, but definitely in the top 3 for that team in getting them their championship. When Steph, like, nobody thought they were going to win. Like, I think they were like a 20%, I don't know how to do gambling terms, but they were like 20% chance of winning it all when they started against the Celtics, and he helped them win it. He is a winning player, and he has been his whole life, like high school, college, with the Warriors. But the reason he said that is because he played for the Washington Wizards for 2 years. And this is what I always remind people. Situation is everything. Daniel Gafford, he's not a winning player because he's playing on the Wizards. And then he gets traded mid-season from the Wizards to the Mavericks, makes it to the finals, was a key piece. You got, who else? Like, tons of players have moved from these teams, Charlotte or the Wizards or, whatever team it is that's kind of at the bottom 2 or 3 that's playing for lottery picks every year. They're trying to rebuild. They're trying to build up their assets, get their better players to get where they got limelight, and then just ship them off and get picks. These teams, what I like to remind people is, these teams at the bottom are trying to lose. If you ever watch a Wizards game or a Hornets game or any of these teams that were trying to lose the second half of the season, if any of their players got hot, if JP went on a run, what happened in the third and fourth quarter? They start pulling him out. He didn't even play the last several games because he's a winning player. They didn't want to win. Like, they are trying to lose. Not the players. The players are trying to win. But the coaches, the GMs, they are substituting these players in and out, and they're putting in different groups and trying to give the ball, focus here, do this. They're trying to guide it to where, yes, they can develop their young players, but not to where they can win. Because they know having a bunch of 18 and 19-year-olds, they're not going to win at all. With these trades, like JP going to the Pelicans, or who else? You got, well, Miles Turner was on a winning team, so it's tough on there. But look at the players who have been on this, like, bottom tier of teams that have been trying to lose, because they get viewed as losing players, even though they're legitimately put in a situation where the team is trying to lose. Again, not the players, but the coaches. They are trying to have them lose. So player, if you want to get a player cheap right now and take a chance on them, maybe it's a player you like, but you've never bought their cards, something that might make you feel a little better is look at what situation they're coming out of and the situation they're going into. Jake LaRavia, perfect example. Played for the Grizzlies for a couple seasons. Good player, solid player. Got traded to the Kings. Kings had a terrible second half of their season. Fired their coach. Lost their best player. And he just went to the Lakers. One, the Lakers are always in the limelight, so he's going to get a lot of attention. He has a few good games. His stuff's going to go up. Perfect example, Hachimura. He played for the Wizards. Didn't get a lot of play. I had several of his cards. Goes to the Lakers. Helps him out in a couple playoff series. His cards went up. They're not crazy, but they have gone up. So if you're looking for players that you want to take a flyer on, and I'm not telling you don't spend thousands, I'm talking like $2 to $10, if you want to go into a dollar box, find a player that is either like the second or third best player on a team that's moving to a situation where they're going to be the best player. Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges when he went from the Suns to the Brooklyn Nets. These players that are second, third best, if they go to a situation where they're going to be the one putting up points and getting a lot of the spotlight, you might see an increase. Jalen Brunson, we saw a huge increase in his prices. But also look at these players on these bottom tier teams who are going into a situation where they could be the second or third best player on a team that could be contending. So that's something to look out for. It's something I've noticed. What do you guys think in the comments? Do you think it's a terrible idea? It's okay to say it. Be nice about it, but you can disagree. Be like, no, it's never worked out for me. I've tried it on 50 to 100 players. Don't do that. Totally cool. I'm just saying that's something I have noticed in sports cards collecting, and especially where you can see the greatest increase in prices. Again, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He played for the Clippers. Was what, second? No, he's like third or fourth best player. He was like a rookie. He was mainly known for his defense. By the way, I saw this the other day. They credit Shai with breaking up the Warriors dynasty. Because do y'all remember when Draymond dribbled the ball down, lost it, and then started griping at KD, and then KD was like, that's when he knew he was out? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the one that knocked it out of Draymond's hands. And so, fun fact, there you go. So that's what I would say look for those players that you are second and third, going to the top part on a team that's going to try to win. Or if they're on one of those teams that's kind of been in the losing situation and moving to a situation where they're trying to win. Because I think the limelight changes, or the perception, the narrative around them changes very quickly. Once they get to a team and they start getting some dubs. That's short for W's. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? How y'all feeling about this NBA offseason? Let me know what trades you're excited about, what you think's crazy, what teams you think are going to be sleepers or contenders. I would love to know. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you're on Apple, if you want to rate us 5 stars, that helps. Leave a nice comment. That's cool. Spotify, same thing. On YouTube, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you want to, you've watched this long, we got to be close to best friends, right? We're about to go to each other's Thanksgivings. That's how best friends work. Y'all be good. I appreciate you. Stay sweet and never stop collecting. Later. Bye. Bye, y'all.